There's a strange kind of loneliness that can happen in a crowded room. You are dressed nicely, you say the right things, you smile at the right moments, and still, somewhere between the first coffee and the last goodbye, the energy changes. Nobody is rude. Nobody says, "I do not like being around you," but replies get shorter. Eye contact fades. Invitations become vague. And you are left wondering what happened because nothing was wrong. That is the uncomfortable part. Some of the things that make people pull away are not loud. They do not look like cruelty, arrogance, or drama. They look like tiny habits that slip into normal conversations when we are tired or trying too hard to be loved. And because they are small, we usually defend them. We say that is just how I am, but sometimes what we call personality is protection that never learned when to stop. The first habit is being too polished to feel real. Imagine someone who always reacts perfectly. She laughs exactly when the story needs a laugh. She looks gentle when something sounds sad. She says, "Oh, I'm so happy for you," in a warm voice that somehow does not land. Nothing is obviously fake, yet something inside the room tightens. That tiny distance is often the space between what is shown and what is actually felt. Many people learned this early. They learned to be pleasant before they learned to be honest. They learned to read the room before they learned to hear themselves. So they became excellent at appearing calm, grateful, supportive, easy. But connection is not built with perfect reactions. It is built when another person feels there is someone real behind the eyes. A quiet, "I don't know what to say, but I'm here," can feel warmer than a flawless performance. The second habit is turning every conversation into a tiny courtroom. You share an opinion and suddenly someone needs evidence. You tell a story and they correct one detail. You mention a bad day and they explain why theirs was worse. At first it may look like intelligence. Over time it feels like there is no soft place to put a thought down. The problem is not disagreement. Honest disagreement can create depth. The problem is the secret need to win. When someone always needs the last word, the other person slowly stops bringing anything tender into the conversation. They stop sharing half-finished thoughts. They stop telling small dreams. Not because they have nothing to say, but because every sentence feels like it might be inspected. And then there is the third habit, the one that often begins in real hurt, building a home inside your wound. Pain deserves kindness. It deserves language. It deserves witnesses. But something changes when pain becomes the only room someone ever invites others into. At first, people come close because they care. They listen. They ask questions. They offer ideas. They remind you of your strength. But if every story returns to the same conclusion, that life is unfair, people are unsafe, nothing ever changes, and someone else should have saved you by now, they begin to feel something heavy settle between you. They may still love you. They may still want the best for you. But they start protecting their own energy because caring for you has quietly become a job. Vulnerability says, "This hurt me, and I'm learning what to do with it." A permanent victim identity says, "This hurt me, and now you must prove you will never hurt me, disappoint me, question me, or leave." That is too much power to hand another person and too much pressure to place there. Magnetic people are not the ones who never suffer. They are the ones who can tell the truth about pain without turning it into a throne. The fourth habit is being unable to let silence breathe. This one can look harmless, even charming. A person enters the room and fills every gap with stories, explanations, jokes, little updates, another question before the first answer lands. It can feel sparkling at first, like champagne poured too quickly. But after a while, the other person notices they are not really being met. They are being used as a wall for someone else's nervous energy. Real presence has pauses. It allows a thought to arrive slowly. It lets the cup be placed back on the table before the next sentence begins. When someone can sit with silence without rushing to decorate it, the room softens. You feel safe to think. You feel safe to choose your words. You feel safe not to perform. And that kind of calm is rare enough that people remember it. The fifth habit is who you become when something small goes wrong. Not a crisis, not betrayal, not disaster, just the wrong dish at lunch, a delayed message, juice on the clean floor, a train running late, a plan changing at the last minute. These tiny moments are where people collect their quiet evidence about you, because when life is easy, almost everyone can look kind. The question is, what happens when life pokes you? Do you become sharp? Do your eyes harden? Do you punish whoever is nearest because your day did not obey you? People notice the size. They notice the tight jaw. They notice the little comments that sound harmless but land like a slap in silk gloves. Early closeness is built on small predictions. Someone is asking, often without realizing it, will I be safe here when I make a mistake? Will I be treated gently when I am inconvenient? Will this person become cold the moment life stops flattering them? Your reaction to tiny stress tells a bigger story than your best behavior ever could. The sixth habit is turning shared moments into a scoreboard. Someone says they started walking every morning, and another voice answers, I used to run 10 miles. Someone mentions a small success, and it is matched with a bigger one. Someone shares a dream, and before it can breathe, it's compared, ranked, improved, or outshined. Most people do not one-up because they are cruel. They do it because some hidden part of them is still asking, am I enough here? But the effect is painful. The other person came to share a piece of life, not to enter a competition they did not know was happening. When every conversation becomes a ladder, nobody feels held. They feel measured. The seventh habit is sending signals your words never agreed to send. You can say, I'm fine, while your shoulders are locked. You can say, of course I'm happy for you, while your smile arrives 1 second too late. You can say, I'm listening, while your eyes keep sliding to the phone instead of the person in front of you. The body speaks first. When words and body do not match, people trust the body. They may not confront you. They may not even understand why they feel uneasy, but they begin to hold something back. A relaxed face, open hands, and a voice that does not rush can make someone feel safer than the most impressive sentence ever could. The eighth habit is negativity that never moves. Everyone has difficult seasons. There is nothing wrong with saying, I am tired. This is hard. I need a minute. The problem begins when every conversation circles the same drain without one honest step toward change. The same complaint, the same helpless ending, again and again. At first, people respond with care, then with advice, then with quieter care, then with distance. Not because they are heartless, but because stuck negativity spreads. It does not just describe the room, it changes the room. People leave feeling heavier and less hopeful, as if they walked through emotional fog. So what do you do if you recognized yourself here? You do not need to panic or become endlessly calm and perfect. That would only become another performance. The shift begins with one question. Am I doing this because it is honest or because something in me needs protection right now? That question gives you 1 second of choice before the correction, the complaint, the stiff smile, the sharp reaction. And 1 second is often enough to become more real. Real attractiveness is not perfection. It is the feeling someone carries away after being with you. I could breathe there. I felt seen there. I did not have to shrink there. That is what makes people come back. Please subscribe for more videos that help you learn better, think deeper, and grow with confidence. Watch the next video on screen to keep the momentum going. And explore the playlist for more simple ideas that can genuinely change the way you live and learn.